There are people in Nevada who are by nature attracted to the desert and its isolation. Just so happens I'm one of them. But there are others who live to live alone. People who keep old towns from giving in to the ghost. And believe me, there are a lot of places in Nevada where the ghost would love to take over. But no one lived more isolated than the miner-turned-bootlegger who built a cabin underneath a rock in the Excelsior Mountains. And there's no one I know who enjoys living on top of the world more than the McKinneys, who live in Marble Falls Canyon in northern Nye County. You'll need a double-jointed jackass to get to the top of Marble Canyon. Never mind the sign. It only applies if your brakes don't work. This is desolate and rough country, but it's home sweet home for Mac and Peggy McKinney. They've survived more than their share of hard winters and hard times living up here in the canyon. It hasn't been easy either. And now that Mac's getting up in his 80s, they've started to slow down some. But he still works his claim every day, digging out the gold that still makes his face flush with excitement. Living on top of the world has its rewards.
We lived in Stone Cabin for 30 years when I was working the mine. Yeah, and it was wonderful living too. Had a lot of fun.
Mac and his child bride Peggy came to this canyon at a time when only burros could make the climb. He has dodged mountain lions and rattlesnakes, and he'll never forget the infamous day he made a trip to the outhouse and ended up face to face with a very indignant bobcat.
Boy, he jumped right out between me and the sill of the door, and he got going right down the bank.
Did you have to go to the bathroom after that?
No.
He runs a ragtag homemade mill made from old springs, iron tubs, and the sort of junk he invented himself. But he's recovering about 92% of the high-grade ore he found here. He figures he's in a pocket now that's producing 50 ounces of gold per 100 ton of ore. The pure silver glitters on the roof of the tunnel. His face shines with the pride of a man who has found his own way with his own wits and guts to succeed despite all odds and on his own terms. Old Mac doesn't work to live, he lives to work.
I don't have any regrets. I always look forward, not backwards.
And yet he knows in his heart of hearts they will have to leave the canyon soon. The fountain of youth eludes even those who are young at heart. Late afternoon brings a flock of chukar looking for a handout. Their calling reminds them that leaving the memories behind will be the hardest part of their lives in Marble Falls Canyon.
I loved it, I loved it, I loved it.
It shows.